As those of you on my Discord server know by now, that feedback is the only way I know how to make stuff that will be useful to more than just me.
You guys really understood the assignment, huh? So, last week I put out a video where I gave you my best attempt at fixing 5e's challenge rating. Go watch it if you haven't. And I did that by giving you a combat encounter simulator. The video did very well and got a ton of feedback. So in this short follow-up video, I want to quickly showcase the 12 updates I've made since last week thanks to everyone's feedback, and maybe go over some frequently asked questions. So, lightning round, here are 12 things you can do now on Battle Sim that you couldn't do last week. 1. Attacks can now have on-hit effects. You can use that for monsters which grapple or restrain with their attacks, for example, or for the Monk's Stunning Strike. 2. You can now use dice formula instead of having to calculate the average yourself. This is so much easier to use, and it even shows you the average when you mouse over the dice formula. You can also add tags if you want to explain where the different bonuses come from, and use things like exploding dice or roll 3, keep the highest 2, that sort of thing. 3. For area of effect damage, you can now toggle a thing that says the action deals half damage on a successful save. This should make the simulation much more accurate. 4. You can now say that an action gives you temporary hit points instead of just healing. 5. You can now say that an action can be used a certain number of times per rest instead of just once per rest. 6. In a similar vein, you can now set up actions that recharge after a certain amount of rounds, like Dragon Breath, for example. 7. Attacks can now hit multiple times, whereas before we just kind of multiplied the attack's damage by the number of hits. 8. You can now save adventuring days as files, and you can share them between your different devices more easily that way. Or if you have a bug, you can share the save file with me and help me fix it. 9. You can also save custom creatures in your browser and then load them later. That way you'll only have to create your player characters once, and then you'll be able to use them in a bunch of different scenarios. 10. You can now say that a debuff applies a condition, like restrained or incapacitated. It's much easier and will lead to better simulations because I can now make sure that advantage from different sources doesn't stack. 11. You can now have actions that trigger whenever a creature is reduced to 0 hit points, whenever a creature reduces someone else to 0 hit points, or before the encounter starts. This will let you simulate a bunch of creatures and abilities that the simulator couldn't really handle before, like the Barbarian's Relentless Rage, for example. 12. You can now select common spells like Fireball or Bless to avoid having to type everything yourself. 13. That's right, there's a bonus round. Battle Sim is now open source. There's a bunch of people who wanted to port this little tool to other systems like Pathfinder or contribute a few features since this is a free tool, and now you can. Eventually I'm gonna have to go write other videos, publish some books, put some food on my plate, which will mean less time to spend on improving this simulator. But before that happened, I wanted to go through as much of your feedback as I could and make sure the simulator was in a pretty good place where it does most of the things people wanted to do. I still have a bunch of things on the to-do list, and I'm always looking to add more, so hop on over to Discord if you want to keep up with the development updates. Now for a few common questions. First, can you add multiclass? I already tried, but this is a really hard problem and I couldn't really get it to work. The simulator is built around what a creature is likely to do, not around what it can do, which means I would have to guess your playstyle from your class alone. If you only have one class, that's easy enough, but if you have 2 or more classes, my guess pretty much always ends up being wrong. Maybe now that Battle Sim is open source, someone smarter than me can take a stab at it. Wink wink nudge nudge. But until then, you'll have to use the customize button and tell the simulator how your multi-class character tends to act. 2. Can you add a way to scan a character from D&D Beyond? I would love to, but I don't think D&D Beyond currently offers a way for third-party apps like this to legally connect to them. So until they do, wink wink nudge nudge, you'll have to enter your characters manually. It might be a bit easier for platforms like Foundry VTT, since those do actually offer that kind of third-party support, but this is also a hard problem for the same reason as the first question. 3. Can you add monsters to the player's team? Yep, the interface could use being a bit more clear and obvious about it, but there's 3 tabs at the top where you can choose what type of creature you want to make. As far as the simulator is concerned, it doesn't really know the difference between a monster and a player. Those other 2 screens where you choose player characters or monsters are basically just here to save you some time by inputting most of the stuff for you. But the entire point of this simulator is that everyone has a bunch of homebrew, so you will probably have to use the customization screen anyway to tell the simulator about how you gave your level 3 barbarian a +8 greatsword of paralyzing. The barbarian template is basically just your starting point. I think those were the 3 most common questions, but if you have some more, ask away. Thank you all for watching this little follow-up video thingy. We'll go back to the regular style of video essays that this channel is about with the next video, which is going to be about random tables, and should be up in a couple of weeks. Until then, have a good one.